Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video we're going to be talking about a few things that are not so helpful in getting back together with your ex that I have seen clients do over and over and over again, and I've had to kind of correct them on a couple of these things from a emotional connection standpoint. The first one is called the polite trap. Now, this is where people just sort of skim the surface with their connections. They just, start on surface level connection because admittedly, that is where most conversations start. That's totally fine. Absolutely. But, you do want to keep the conversation moving down to a deeper emotional level, especially if you're, intending on having like a pretty substantial conversation here. You end up in the polite trap if you just keep it on the surface level connection. And it's like, oh, hey, did you see that TV show last night? Yeah, I did. Oh, really? Did you see that the character did this? No, they didn't do that. That was really interesting. They had that cliffhanger last time. And, oh, well, maybe we can watch it next week and see how it goes. Well, I don't know. There's this thing that might show up in my life and I might need to go to that. Oh, okay, well, maybe we'll try another time. Did you see so-and-so at the store? No, I didn't. What's up with them? Nothing new, but I ran into them the other day. And it just kind of goes on and on like this. And it's not a very interesting conversation. There's not a whole lot there substantially, but you're just kind of skimming this surface level. And there are many opportunities to pull it down to the emotional level, but they're just not taking it. Why? It's because there's a part of them that feels uncomfortable stepping out of their comfort zone and actually maybe being emotionally vulnerable and transparent themselves. Maybe they feel like they're walking on eggshells too much and they don't want to, risk something, that seems potentially risky, like taking the conversation down to the emotional level, etc. But the truth is that the polite trap is actually a very risky thing to do, even though it may feel safe. Because when you're in the polite trap, you're not giving your ex a reason to continue staying in conversation with you, to continue staying a connection with you or contact with you. Because, nobody wants to just be stuck in some conversation where you're just endlessly talking about, I don't know, sports or the weather or some person that you both know that you ran into at the store or TV shows or anything like that. People want to talk about substantial things. People want to talk about their feelings. People want to talk about what their experience is. People want to talk about themselves, more or less. And if you are just end up sort of, circling around and around and around, never really getting anywhere, then this kind of thing is called the polite trap. And you're just being polite. They're being polite to you. Neither one of you is really taking that step forward to advance the connection or the conversation to where it needs to go emotionally. And so things just sort of stall out. And if you do this too many times, your ex is going to say, I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why we're in contact. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe we should just stop talking to each other for a while. Maybe I just need space. You should move on, or something like that. And so what we want to do is we want to have the courage to actually take things to the emotional level, step outside of our comfort zone, actually connect with them on that deeper emotional level, or whatever could be coming up that's keeping you in the polite trap. So we definitely want to make sure that we are doing this. Additionally, by the way, if you like these videos, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. It does help us out and does help this channel grow. So please make sure that you do that. Additionally, the opposite side of the polite trap is when we over-invest in the conversation. Okay, so what do I mean by over-investing? So every social dynamic happens to have a normal sort of balance where, ideally, both people are more or less investing in the dynamic at a more or less equal level. Now, of course, sometimes it may be a little bit higher or lower, and that's totally okay, but it should sort of like, bob up and down, like maybe two buoys in the water or something. And that's how a normal conversation goes. But when you overinvest, maybe you send a text message that's like, hey, what's going on? And they say, not much. And then you just sort of like keep upping it and say like, oh, well, this is what's going on for me. And then this happened. And how did that make you feel? Oh, I never did this. And so what's going on with you? Hey, do you want to meet up this weekend? And all that stuff. And suddenly it just starts to get like way out of balance. That is when things start to feel really uncomfortable for your ex, because then they start to wonder like, what's going on here? Is there some sort of hidden agenda? Why are you so interested when I'm just giving you like little one-word responses or something? And so what we want to do is we want to maybe decrease your investment until we can actually start to get some return on their investment. Now, of course, again, we're going to do the whole like two buoys bobbing up and down in the water kind of thing. But, as they start to invest a little bit more, maybe you up it a little bit more, and then they up it a little bit more, and then you up it a little bit more, and then slowly you kind of start to move things to a more invested level. That's totally fine. That's organic. But if we start to invest too much when they're still down here, that's when things start to feel really, really uncomfortable, forced, strained, awkward, etc. So what we want to do is we want to notice when we're investing too much, and we want to let things be, disengage if we need to, and just say, okay, it seems like you're not in a place right now where you're willing to talk or where you're able to talk right now. That's totally okay. Let's touch base later on when you have some more space to connect. Or, hey, something came up. I got to go focus on something else, XYZ, whatever it is. And maybe let's talk a little bit more later. And when you do this, you're actually allowing the sort of dynamic to reset for some other point in the future when maybe your ex is in a better place to connect emotionally, because maybe they're just not in a good place right now. Maybe they're at work and they're trying to multitask. Maybe they're trying to do some errands. Maybe they're in line at the store ready to buy something and they're just texting you to pass some time, and then now suddenly they have to go check out and then drive home and all that stuff, and suddenly they're just no longer available. So what we want to do is we want to pay attention to this level of investment, and if it gets too far out of alignment, we want to disengage and try again later. So if you're able to avoid these two things, such as the polite trap and over-investing, you're going to be setting yourself up for some good success. Obviously, there are other things that need to be in place, like the emotional connection between you and your ex. That's something that we've spoken about extensively on this channel. And if you do want some help connecting with your ex in a stronger emotional sense, you might want to check out our course called the Ex Solution Program. It's over at modernlove.life/ESP. That's modernlove.life, not .com, but .life/ESP, as in X Solution Program. I'm very clever with these URLs. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and I will talk to you next time. Please take care.